Hello. I have a couple of questions. The first one, I've heard people say and read in books about how, their heart opening.
Can you hear her?
I've heard people and read in books about your heart opening, and I don't mean just in a way of like feeling kindness or something like that, but what is the experience really of your heart truly opening?
Well, since the emotion that you feel is your indicator of your allowing or not allowing of your true connection, then we have to believe that what is really meant by that is just a full connection with who you really are. It's getting the resistance out of the way to allow the path to that enlightenment, alignment, connection.
And is it distinct? Do you know it when you arrive there?
Well, it's an interesting thing because contrast, if you have not been allowing your heart to sing for a while, then it's not likely that you're going to do it all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. Because we talked recently, it's an analogy we've used from time to time, that if a train is going 100 miles an hour in this direction, it's not all of a sudden going to go 100 miles an hour in this direction. It's going to slow and then pick up momentum again. And the same is usually true of the thoughts that you have and the vibrational response, the emotional response to those vibrations. You usually don't just all of a sudden turn it around. It would certainly, a feeling of exhilaration would certainly be amplified if you could all of a sudden release resistance, and that really is what it will be when you experience what you call that death experience, where you reemerge into non-physical and in one fell swoop release all resistance and allow your vibration to raise. But while you are here in these physical bodies, it is a gradual thing. And so we think that what you're describing in that really intense knowing of it would not come from contrast, like when you're really, really hungry, it feels really good to eat. Mm-hmm. Not like that. But when you allow yourself to be reaching in the direction of what feels better, and then you allow more and more momentum to gather until that just becomes your habit of beingness. Because when you allow yourself to align with the whole of who you are, and you do it over a consistent period of time, what begins to happen, and this is really the sensation, or the reason for the sensation, or the point of the reason for the sensation. This is the where it's at moment when you raise your vibration deliberately or indeliberately, when your vibration rises and the vibration that's in the vortex moves into your grid, and that in that moment of realization, those are often those really high-flying good moments. And you can get on a path like that where you're so tuned in and you're so consistently feeling good that you're just on the brink of the grid filling in all the time with one thing after another. And that sort of momentum gives you that feeling, that strong feeling of elation. Mm-hmm. We think that might be what you're reaching for in that. Mm-hmm. When a lot of times people talk about forgiveness as being a good feeling moment. And we say what forgiveness is the releasing of the resistance, because you were holding yourself apart from who you really are by pushing against whatever it was. And when you cease to do that, and you open that valve between who you are and who you really are, mm-hmm. that sensation of energy flowing is really a delicious feeling. And in fact, that's why you came into this environment. It's one of the things that you're most looking forward to, is exploring contrast and knowing what you want and recognizing that you're not in alignment with it, and then deliberately doing something about coming into alignment with it so that the energy can begin moving and the manifestations can be happening. Mm-hmm. We think the perfect life experience is one where there's a little contrast and therefore a little definition and therefore a little recognition that you've expanded to something that you're not allowing, and then a little deliberate application of thinking thoughts, and then a deliberate acknowledgement that you're feeling better, and then a deliberate awareness, a conscious awareness of the grid filling in, and then a decided appreciation about where you now stand with your newly manifested experience, and a conscious patting yourself on the back as you recognize, I did that. I launched it. I wasn't lined up with it. Then I got lined up with it. Then it actualized, and then I recognized it, and now I've received the manifestation of it. And now, blessing of all blessings, I stand in a new place of even more potential for contrast, for even more deliberate detail in what I create.